Okay, people, I will put this first in. I'm going to put everything else that's happened in the last hour and a half. Like, seriously. Completely took us by surprise, people. Okay, I'm laying up on the couch. I'm resting because yesterday, you know what I was doing outside with that raccoon crap and everything else, right? So, the day before that, I was out there reading all day in the sun, right? Okay, so I have to rest in there sometimes, people. I have to, otherwise I'll get sick. So I'm resting on the couch and I see this fire truck all of a sudden in front of my house. Hold on a minute. Okay, that was my son. So I just gave him a do-rag. I made 2 do-rags. In the last 2 days, I gave 2 away. Because literally, my son saved my oldest daughter's life today. In the space of, what, 1 to 2 minutes? I'm in Uncle John's chair here, people. Like, seriously. A do-rag for life. Right. You heard it. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it from my youngest daughter, what happened. This video is to show the disparity between government employees and their pension plans and that type of thing and how they get exploited when they get older. So all these youngins working within the system right now, when I say Fraser Health, I don't necessarily think about the individual, because when I was mentioning to that fire department dude, right? I don't know if it's on video or not, because I did off and on the video camera, right? But I said to him, so the next time you come across my daughter, I said, the next time you come across my daughter, it's going to be out in that field over there. More than likely, she won't even make it. He goes, yep, could very well happen. Because it's been happening, people. It's been happening. They just don't report it. The city of Surrey doesn't report it because they don't value these people's lives. Okay? Because there's nothing that they can exploit from these lives other than maybe their children when they get removed for whatever reason, to start the process so that these people just continue to spiral down to the point where they are buried into the ground. Right? So I feel like I'm being set up. I feel like my family is being set up here by Fraser Health. This is what I want to say. Because it's Fraser Health that is allowing this to continue. It's Fraser Health that is putting my daughter at risk in terms of running around being homeless. Okay? And passing out and being quite possibly raped and God knows what that she's had to gone through in the last 2.5 years since this all started. December 21st, 2012. That's when it started, people. That's when it really started. I asked my daughter on the phone when I phoned down to find out what was going on, because I didn't go downstairs, because I can't. Because if I go down, Andre will want to come down. So I can't go down. I stay upstairs. I close the curtains. I lock the doors. I stay inside, right? Right? And, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. This is messed up. Oh, yes, I said to tell those people to commit her for 72 hours. She needs psychological assessment for 72 hours. Oh, no, can't do that. She has to go willingly. I don't get it, people. She has to go willingly. So they Narcaned her. She woke up and then dashed off. Till the next time. Till the next time. Wherever that may be in the community. It could be in my neighbor's freaking yard for all we know. Could be in that neighbor's yard. Could be in the field over there. It could be in the green belt. Right? Could be up by the corner store. It could be in the alley. It could be in the doghouse in my backyard where people have slept because they've got nowhere to sleep. I've had a video showing you that somebody made a bed in there. In my back there, in the back. Took the doghouse and put a mat in there and was sleeping in there. Could be there. The kids get up in the morning, go to work, go to school, walk by and see a leg sticking out. Oh, that's Fraser Health. That's where they spend their money on, people. Right? To pick them up and to release them. To pick them up and to release them. Pick them up and to release them. And then to have people like the family gang stalked because somehow we're the ones being irresponsible here. Right? We're the ones not doing the right thing by kicking her out fast enough. We gotta put fucking bars on our windows. We gotta put deadbolts 4 in a row on our doors just to prevent a family member that's sick from coming in so that we don't lose the little ones in the house. Right? There's no inside stairs. Like I said, I didn't know anything was going on until I was laying on the couch and I seen the fire truck park right in front of my house. And I went to the window and they started walking into my yard. And I said, what? Again? Again? But it's just one more thing for them to write down, right? That's just another thing for them to write down to say that they tried, but we're not trying. We're the victims to this. They're not. We are. My daughter isn't. Obviously, she's the perpetrator, right? Seems to me like she's crying for help. And nobody wants to help her, including her own freaking family. Because if we help her, what happens to us? We lose Andre. And then it's a big court battle again. Right? For their failures. Fraser Health and whoever else is concocting this corrupt system that allows people to terrorize the community. Because she's not just terrorizing the household, she's terrorizing the fucking community. And I'll tell you, these workers, like, you know, you have video, they're over there, they're over there, they're over there. Like they might as well just move in. They might as well rent a house and bring their fucking trucks and their ambulances and their police cars and park it all out in front and just wait for this shit to happen. If it's not a house fire, it's gunshots. If it's not fucking gunshots, it's the SWAT team. If it's not the SWAT team, it's cops chasing freaking this. If it's not that, it's ODing in the alley or over there, or it's homeless people in the freaking bush. Right? Well, everybody's being ticketed to death because we got to pay for the new mayor hall downtown, right? In the, you know, great grand fucking city of Surrey. We got to pay for that somehow. So us little people are just being, you know, if we're not being gang stalked that way, we're being gang stalked, you know, sitting in a park. Having a smoke. After all these fucking years, I've been smoking for 40 years and all of a sudden I get a freaking ticket. How does that work, people? I'm telling you, people, this is Fraser Health for you. Right? They couldn't even let John come home, not even once. Now, why is that? But they let homeless people out all the time. And this is what happens. They go in and out of the freaking hospital. They have nowhere to go. They end up out in fucking fields. All kinds of crazy crap. I don't even know what's going on right now. This is like torture, people. This is like freaking torture. City of Surrey is torturing us. BC government is torturing us. Seriously. John goes into hospital for a lung infection and he freaking disappears. Right? But look at this. Here's your tax dollars. Apparently she was blue. She snuck herself back in.
Can you get her? Yeah, I'll get her to come. Get her to come back this way.
Snuck herself in the basement somehow. Again. After they just released her from the hospital, she showed up here at 4:15 in the afternoon. Like it hasn't even been 4 hours. You can't. So he said, yeah, they can't do nothing for her. Absolutely nothing. And if they find her out in the bush, just business as usual, right?
Initially. Yeah. Need anything, Cop? Or?
No, I think we're hoping she's going to come back out.
We're good, absolutely.
All righty.
Well, thank you anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
I know it's not you.
She's got to help herself.
No, it's more than that, sir. I'm sorry. I disagree with that. No. There's politics involved in this. There's money in this province to help these people.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous, people. This is like homegrown terrorism. Seriously, this is what they did with Joan. She came from mental institutions and 15 different psychosis pills and all this other crap. She'd go in and out of the hospital every 2-3 weeks. These guys used to come and take her because she'd starve herself. If she wasn't starving herself, she was doing something else. She wanted to go to the hospital. And then they would release her and she'd come home. 2-3 weeks later, she'd be back. This was going on and on like this for 3 freaking years, people. And then eventually it just got to the point with the feeding tubes and the oxygen tank and all this other stuff that she had going. She went into long-term care for the last year of her life. Uncle John goes to the hospital one time, people. Next thing you know, he can't get up and walk no more. He's all doped up. He's sitting in a diaper. You know, they're gaslighting him, telling him that he's confused.
No, you be quiet. Hey, what's talking?
This is bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. She shows up out of nowhere with freaking hospital pants on at 4:15. I tell her she can't come in. She sneaks herself in downstairs. Next thing you know it, I'm looking there, I'm resting because I was yesterday working outside in that freaking raccoon infested freaking whatever. And I see fire department roll up again. And apparently, from what we've been told on the phone, she was blue, half dead in the basement, people. So I guess the ambulance saved her life, but they're refusing to take her to the hospital and have her for a 72-hour psychological assessment. And I said to the one guy in the fire truck, I said, well, so what, you're going to find her in the field next? Is that it? He goes, yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? How can we call this health care? Huh? Because she has no money? Is that health care? What kind of health care is this? This is not health care. This is not health care.
What now?
Okay, people, this is what happened.
Show me.
Okay, so...
Hold on a minute. Okay, people, this all happened in the space of, like, what, a half an hour?
Like a half an hour ago.
Yeah, but the whole situation happened, like, in a half an hour.
Yeah.
Because you came home, she'd only been here for, like, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then you showed up.
Yes, and then I told her that she had to go because she knows she's not supposed to be here.
Under the conditions?
Of whatever, yes. And so she's like, yeah, no, I know. So I go into my brother's room and I was like, hey, Markane, like, you know, you need to tell Seer to leave because she's not supposed to be here. My other sister, Shimei, she's going to be mad and it's just going to become a bigger fight than what it is. He's like, oh, okay. So he goes out. He's like, oh, Seer, you gotta go. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm about to leave. She ends up going to the washroom. She starts taking a shower or whatever. And then Shimei, she called you, freaking out, whatever. She's like, oh, Seer got to go. She's in the shower. Markane was already well aware of she was taking a shower. She said she was going to go after her shower.
Nobody knows how she got in.
Yeah. Nobody knows how she... Well, I guess because the front door was open, right? She probably walked in.
I don't know.
Well, Shimei and Julian were home, right?
Or maybe she crawled through a window.
No. The windows are locked. So she... Yeah.
Finally.
So, yeah, she walked in through the front door. And, so she ended up getting out of the shower, and she goes back into the living room, and Markane's well aware. He gets out of the room. He's like, Sarah, okay, you gotta go. You gotta go now. She's like, yeah, I know. She's like, oh, I just want to make some food before I go, so I guess she made some toast. He's kind of, like, letting it, like, happen, but, like, you know, being around her, because he's, like, telling her she got to go, you know?
Well, yeah, it's not easy throwing out your sick sister in the rain. It's raining, people.
Well, yeah, clearly she has.
And she was released from the hospital, and she came straight here with hospital pants on. And she came up here, and I told her to get out, because I don't know what to do, right? And I said, you just, whatever. And so I guess she went downstairs and got into the basement. Continue.
And I guess she was done. She, she comes into my bedroom, and she's like, Tisha, can I use a lighter? I was like, oh, no, I don't have a lighter. And she ends up going into the washroom, and like maybe a minute, 2 minutes in, because my door was open, I see that she didn't come out of the washroom, and I didn't hear anything like no coughing, no nothing, because she usually would make it like a sound or something, right? So I go to my brother that's in the living room about to leave. He's waiting for her to get out of the house before he can go to his girlfriend's house. You know what I mean? Because like he knows like Shimei. And I was like I don't know if she's doing drugs in the washroom.
Don't like the show.
So anyway,
Okay, no.
I just put the thing back on. It's just he wanted a different channel. He got the same channel. He's not listening to us. He's watching cartoons. He just wasn't satisfied with the cartoons he had. Carry on.
Okay, no, Mom, I don't want that. Like, cut it off and...
No, carry on. Start over if you want. I don't care.
So, I came home, and I seen my sister Sierra sitting on the couch, and...
Okay, you just hold on a minute. No. Okay, so anyway, she's in the washroom there. And a minute or two? Is that all? Just a minute or two?
Yeah, I mean, like, because my door was open, and, like, she was only in the washroom for, like, a minute or two. And
a minute or two?
Yeah, a minute or two, and I go into the living room, I was like, hey, Marcane, like, I think Sierra might be doing drugs in the washroom. I don't know, I don't hear anything. He goes down the hallway, and he, like, knocks on the door, he's like, Sierra, Sierra. And she's not responding, so he opens the door, and she's passed out. No, she wasn't passed out. She was like seizuring. Seizuring?
Having seizures.
Yeah, having seizures.
Okay, so she's having seizures, people, all in a space of 1 or 2 minutes of going into the washroom.
Blue, her lips are crusty. My brother...
Her skin was blue?
Her face was blue.
Her face was blue?
It was going blue.
It was going blue.
Yeah.
Her lips all of a sudden all got crusty.
Mm-hmm. And then my brother, he drops down to the ground, and he's like... call 911. So I get onto the phone with 911, and he has her head like held up, and they're like, oh, does anybody know CPR? He's like, no, but he was blowing air into her mouth anyways to get her that, I guess, a little bit of oxygen. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, you need to do chest compressions every 2 seconds. So he was doing that. She lost her pulse, and then he kept doing it, and she regained it. And then when the ambulance came, they like shot her with
Narcan.
Narcan?
I think that's what they call it.
And she like shot back up, and she was willing to go to the hospital, but I told her, like, I'm like, Sierra, you know, like, you have to be willing for the help because they're not going to hold you against your will kind of thing. And she just gave me the baddest attitude. I'm like, you know what? If you're not going to take the help, we're done, you know? Like, you're 28 years old. You have to figure it out for your own. If they're there to give you the help that you need, take it. And then she left. And that's the story for that.
I know, and they just let her walk out. Because I got it in the front. I got it on video with her walking away. Like, how pathetic is that? Like, this is what I don't understand, people. How pathetic is this? All this money that they're spending on ambulance, police, and fire department for people such as my daughter, because she's not the only one out here that's doing this, people, in the city of Surrey, right? Because there's a lot of homeless people, not to mention the ones that live in houses that have this problem, okay? Why can't they take that money and go after the guys that bring this stuff in these ports through these containers, shipping containers? Or they're manufacturing it out in the bush. Well, why don't they go after those guys instead of what they're doing right now? Because this is a waste of tax dollars, okay? And not only that, this is like a homegrown kind of terrorism going on here because this family is being preyed upon. This is what the Fraser Health did with Joan. They would release her again. Wait, remember? Mm-hmm. Tell how it was for Auntie Joan for the 3 years that we lived here. It was a freaking nightmare, people. Tell them.
She went into the hospital for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, came out. The nurses came in, and then she did her old ways again, went back to the hospital until eventually she died there.
Well, 3 years of in and out, and they released her nonstop every freaking...
Instead of giving her the help that she needed.
Yeah, but John goes to the hospital one time, hasn't been on drugs for 23 years, people, and then all of a sudden he can't walk, he can't, you know, he's supposedly confused even though he wasn't, you know. There was times he couldn't dress himself because he was so drugged up with the medications that they were giving him.
Let alone he had a diaper and I wiped him.
Yeah.
Because my grandpa shouldn't be sitting in his own feces.
Yeah. Exactly. I had to take him to the washroom and help him because those care workers in that temporary care ward just wanted him in a diaper. They just don't let him. They gave us a hard time for trying to help him to walk. For crying out loud. I had to have a hissy fit to get a freaking walker in there for him, people. But they sure whisked him off in a hurry though, didn't they? They didn't release him. How come? What's the difference between him, Joan, and Sierra? I'd like to know. I know what the difference is between Sierra and Joan. Is Joan had us and she had John. And if they would have kept her and tried to do what they did with John, they would have had to deal with John and the kids and me. Right? But with John, Joan wasn't there, and they took him to Victoria, and they knew that they could cast their little lies and their slander and all this other crap and be their little colluded group of criminals and get away with it, basically. But for Sierra, oh, well, you know, I said to the guy there in the ambulance, I don't know if it's on tape or not, he was going back to his fire truck. I said, so what, the next time you're just going to find her out in that field over there? You know what he said? Yeah, quite possibly. I said, well, you know, I know it's nothing personal with you. You, as an individual working for the fire department, I'm sure you got better things to do than to be scraping up dead bodies off the floor of the ground in the bush. Hey, what do you think? So what do you think your sister's up to? You said you think she's trying to, what?
Kill herself.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty fucking obvious. And they don't want to commit her and do a 72-hour assessment on her. She's not a danger to herself. She's not a danger to society. She's not a danger to this family in terms of MCFD showing up any minute. The only thing is, Andre's been upstairs. I didn't even know this shit was going on, people.
No.
No, I looked out the window. I'm laying on the couch and I seen the fire truck roll up because it was so damn big. That's the only reason I noticed it. I opened up the window. I said, again? Again? Like, we were just here 2 days ago. And they released her from the hospital. She showed up here at 4:15. And within 45 minutes, half an hour, this is what happened.